Brian Hammermeister, Project 1, Optional Deliverables. My IP addressing for adding the two ISP routers is as follows. I've used a 192.168.64 network with a /30. You can see here this network here between the router 2 on the company side and the blue ISP router is actually 192.168.64.60 network, with 61 being on the ISP end and 62 being on the company edge router end. And same thing here for this network here, 192.168.64.52, 53 is on the PC and 54 is on the router. And very much the same over here on the right, where 64.56, I've got that network, 58's on the router, 57's on the PC, and then this one here, this is the 192.168.64.64 network, and you got 65 on the green ISP router, and you got 66 on the internal company router 4. And then the loopbacks are also assigned off the same address space. You can see on the right here how the GNS3 topology matches my diagram. And I've got the same representation with 5 internal routers, and then I've added the 2 external ISP routers for blue and green ISPs. To company edge router 2, I'm going to do a show interface brief, and you can see here gig 10.10.64.2.1 is where my mouse is pointing. It's connected to the virtual PC. Gig 20.192.168.64.2 is the network going southbound here to router 1. Gig 30.192.168.64.62, where my mouse is pointing, is a connection to the blue ISP. And gig 40.192.168.64.5 is the connection to router 3, where I'm pointing here with my mouse on a topology diagram. Gig 50.192.168.64.9 is a connection heading over to router 4, where I'm pointing with my mouse. And then it's finally got a loopback address here of 64.29 that also shows up as loopback 0. Topology on the left here matches the requirements because I've added 2 routers, blue ISP router, green ISP router. I've also added 2 PCs, the virtual PC 6 and virtual PC 7 to represent external networks. In addition, I've connected internal company networks router 2 and router 4 at the edge to speak BGP to both the ISPs. P7 upper right here, and I've already showed you I'm pinging PC1 internal, PC2 internal, and finally 10.64.3.10 PC3 internal. Also, you can see here this is PC6 on the blue ISP where I'm pointing with my mouse. It's also pinged the same 3 PCs, PC1, 2, and 3. And let's ping a few more here. Let's ping PC4. First 2 timeout, and you're going to get, yep, there you go, there's the rest. And let's ping PC5. There you go. First 2 timeout, and you'll get the next 3. There, yep. PC7 and do the same thing. Let's ping the other 2. There is PC4. It's pinging right away. And here is PC5 pinging right away. Perfect. All right, let's do some trace routes. Tracing to PC5 works great. Trace PC4 works great. Going straight there, no issues. PC3 looks like I'm getting an asterisk on one. If I do that again, I'll probably pick it up. Yep, there I got the full 4 routes. Trace to. Yep, if I do it again, I'll pick it up. Yep, there I did. All 4 pass. And let's go to 1. Yes. And if I do it again, I'll pick up all 5. There you go. All right, let's do the same thing on PC6. Okay, yep, trace right there. Let's go to 4. There we go. Trace into 4. If I do it again, yep, you can see that the trace, I get the full path, 4 hops. And let's do a trace here to 3. PC3. Yeah, I went straight there, 4 hops to PC3. The BGP routing table of my blue ISP router 6. Let me explain the table here. The asterisk here means it's a valid route. The greater than sign means it's the best route. So if there was 2 routes to that path, it would have the greater sign next to the one that was the best path. E is the external BGP, and then here's the network, and here's the next hop, and then finally the multi-exit discriminator, which is known as the external cost to that network, and the lower the cost, the better in this case. You can see here for this external router, all these internal company networks, the next hop is all the same, so which makes sense because it's a simple network. BGP routing table for green ISP7. You can see here all the next hop is the same, just like my blue ISP. If you look at the routes, the router 1 network for the PCs 1064.1 is 3 hops, which is exactly right. That's the furthest network away for the company's perspective. And then PC network 2 is only 2 hops from ISP router 7. And then router 4 is the edge router, and so that's 0, which makes sense. And then router 5 is only 2 hops. ISP router shown here has 30 routes, so does the blue ISP router. And if you look, they both have these external routes, all with the company network AS number of 65,000. I just wanted to point out everything that's not an external route, like there's a couple down here that don't have that marked, and that's actually this one right here that I'm highlighting. 192.168.64.48 is the loopback network, and then the 49 is actually the loopback actual address. And they are marked here as I and question mark respectively. Showing the company edge router 4 BGP routing table, most of the routes are internal. You can see here the next hop is either the loopback address or the direct link on the connection between the routers. There's lots of routes, there's like 59 routes, and then if you look here near the bottom, it does know some external BGP routes. For example, this one, the 64.64 network, is an ISP link between that edge router and the ISP, and it knows it's 65.0.0.7, and that's external. The edge router 2 also has 59 routes, and again, most of the routes are internal, and you have a couple at the bottom that are external that are going to its green ISP. Internal company router 3 BGP routing table, it's got 57 routes. They're all internal routes. With because this is router 3 in the middle of the network, there's lots of next hop pass depending on where the network is. If I do a regular show IP routing table, you're going to see direct routes and OSPF intra-area routes, and then near the bottom you're going to see I'll point out some BGP routes. These are to the ISP. They are either the loopback address or they are the PC networks. Company router 5 BGP routing table, it's also all internal routes. The regular IP routing table, you'll see direct routes, OSPF intra-area routes, and you're also going to see BGP routes. If I point out the preference column here, the lower the preference, the more it's preferred. Direct routes are always 0, direct connections. OSPF is intra-area is 10. And then BGP preference is always higher. It's going to be 255.